Now let's talk to industry experts, and we are joined in by Adi Godrej, the President of Confederation of Indian Industry and the Chairman of Godrej Consumer Products Limited. Will take his views on the new Finance Minister. Mr. Godrej, thank you so much for talking to Doordarshan News.
Sure.
We saw that the industry has raised a lot of hopes from the new Finance Minister and on pending issues like FDI and insurance, pension, multi-brand retail, civil aviation, deregulation of fuel prices, goods and services tax and the direct tax code. So you represent the Confederation of Indian Industry and also the Godrej Consumer Products. So what are your expectations from the new President P. Chidambaram, who has achieved the tag of being a successful finance minister during his past finance ministry portfolio?
Well, I'm glad that he has been appointed the finance minister. He has tremendous experience. This is a very difficult period both for the finance ministry and the government. The GDP growth rate has slowed down. We need reforms to be accelerated. Several things, you mentioned some of them. Of course, some of the things you mentioned have nothing to do with the finance ministry. That has to do with the cabinet or other ministries. But clearly there are many things that the finance ministry has to do. To my view, there are two very important immediate agendas, or I would say three important immediate agendas for him. One is to get the goods and services tax done by April 2013. That will add 2 percentage points to India's GDP growth rate. It's eminently doable, and I do hope Mr. Chidambaram will devote time and effort to get it done. The second important thing is to see that fiscal deficit is contained, both through reduction in subsidies and through disinvestments in government companies. And the third important thing is, currently the perception of India has suffered on several counts. Two of them relate to the finance ministry. Of course, two other counts are the Manesar violence and the sudden power shortage or the power grid failure in northern India and eastern India. So these have created a very bad perception of India, but the two finance ministry related ones are the retrospective amendments and the GAR provisions. Now in the GAR provisions, the Prime Minister has constituted a committee. I hope the committee makes very sensible recommendations so that the perceptions improve. But the finance minister, the new finance minister, Mr. Chidambaram, needs to ensure that this retrospective amendments negative perception is overcome.
All right. Mr. Godrej, we saw that in today's situation when the country is grappling with high inflation and low GDP, what is the main challenge? We also saw that the export numbers, there's a big deficit gap in exports. We also see that the fiscal deficit is high. So what is the main challenge you think for Mr. Chidambaram here, and do you think he will be able to bring back that same number of 9.3 and 9.2 which he had during his era of being the finance minister now?
I mentioned to you the three important things he needs to do. I have said exactly what he needs to do. If he is able to do all the three, I think yes, 9% growth rate can be restored, especially if the GST is enacted quickly. Yeah.
All right, all right. Thank you, Mr. Godrej, for giving
Good talking to you. Bye.
Giving us your details. Moving to exports now.